But we do begin with that breaking news from the music world. ABC News is learning that Irish singer Sinéad O'Connor has died at the age of 56. In a statement, O'Connor's family says they are devastated and they are requesting privacy at this time. The singer shot to stardom across the world in 1990 with that haunting cover of Prince's "Nothing Compares to You." And in 1992, she captured headlines for her very public stance against the Catholic Church when she unexpectedly ripped up a picture of Pope John Paul II during her performance on Saturday Night Live. Grammy Award-winning singer leaves behind 3 children. ABC News contributor Mike Muse joins us now, of course, to talk about just Sinéad as a singer, as a person, her struggles, her battles. Let's start just with her music. She had a tone, a sound, a vibe that was just unmatched, Mike.
It really was. It was almost uncanny. She had a way of not just singing music, but delivering music. It was almost theatrical in her vocal performance. Her vocal tone and texture was rich. It was deep. It had a little bit of pain that you can hear through it. And you can tell just in the voice that the voice told a story even without the lyrics.
You know, she talked about, I'm just looking back at some interviews that she had done, and she talked about growing up with a lot of trauma and abuse, and that she went straight into the music business, she says, and never learned really how to make a normal life. You know, her music was unique as much as her life story, and she was very open about her battles with mental health and addiction. She had the loss of her son, who died by suicide. She was taking in a lot.
For me, Kara, she was that blueprint of how success can also too be haunting, how fame and stardom can be haunting. When you think about the blueprint of that, the next iteration I think about was that next generation of pop stars with Britney Spears and how she dealt with fame. You think about Pink and how she was fighting this picture perfect female pop star and what it's supposed to look like, and how you had to escape from that. In part, Sinéad O'Connor talked about her book recently, that moment on SNL, a lot of people thought that it ruined her personally. Now, I will argue that I think that it did, and she will admit that the trauma was subconsciously in her, but she said it freed her from that ability to be this picture perfect pop princess. And so she said she was allowed to be flawed. She was allowed to make mistakes. And when you're under the microscope, when you're under the lights, when you're under the stage, you don't have that opportunity to make mistakes as you're always being criticized. And that is for somebody who's already coming from a fragile place. What most people don't know is that when she ripped up that picture of Pope John Paul II, Kira, do you know that that picture was actually hanging on her mother's wall? And the reason why that was so symbiotic for her is because she said that her mother sexually and physically abused her. And so what she was doing was, not only was it a statement against the Catholic Church at the time, which was unpopular to go against the Catholic Church, but it was also 2 rebellious acts to free herself from what she believed her mother did to her. So it was in part in relationship and in conversation with the Catholic Church, sexual abuse and child abuse, as well as her mother's sexual abuse and child abuse coming together at the same time, ripping it up in protest.
It seemed that her life started to change at one point when she converted to Islam. She changed her name. There was a lot clearly that she was dealing with, and it, I guess at this time, you tell me, she thought that this would be the way to find healing and deal not only with that sexual abuse as a child, but also the other mental health issues she was dealing with. Why do you think she did that? Why do you think she chose Islam? Do you think she did find a sense of peace at the time that she did that?
I think when you go through a traumatic experience, so what she did as a child, as a young adult, and then as a star, and then what was done to her post SNL, I think that you're always looking for a higher power. You're looking for something to turn to kind of give you peace within, and to try and make you feel whole and to feel settled. Kira, I don't think we've actually talked enough about that moment that happened in the early 90s and any apology that was maybe owed to her. Because when you think about it, Pope John II came out in around 2001, I believe, and admitted the abuse that was happening in the Catholic Church. So exactly what she was speaking out on, ripping his picture on, they later came out and acknowledged that abuse was actually happened. And so to know you've been right this whole time, but then to know that the world ridiculed you at such a very high level and very publicly, I think any human being will feel fractured, will feel hurt, will feel marginalized, and will feel like they need to find something and find solace in it. And Islam is a very religion of peace. And so I think that's what she found solitude in, the peaceful nature of Islam.
How do you think she'll be remembered, Mike?
I think before her passing, we looked at her as this person of rage, this person who ripped up the Pope's letter. But I think once we began to unpack her legacy more, I think we'll reveal that she was a truth teller. She was someone who was unafraid to speak her truth, no matter how complicated that it was, and that she was a true artist in that form. Many artists of the greats are very complicated, have a very complicated story. And I think that her story may be just getting rewritten.
And we'll not forget the Grammy Awards as well. And, you know, a lot of I guess through her music, her songwriting, you know, she helped a lot of people and didn't always realize that as she was struggling with her own journey. Mike Muse, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sinéad O'Connor was only 56 years old.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.